أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Surat An-Nahl, a story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran as an example for us to follow. Sorry. Let's back up. As an example for us not to follow. That's what she said. Like as an example for us, but we shouldn't imitate it. We shouldn't be like it. We shouldn't start. And I chose this story today because we are in Ramadan, so it's very helpful. قال الله عز وجل وأوفوا بعهد الله إذا عاهدتم ولا تنقضوا الأيمان بعد توكيدها وقد جعلتم الله عليكم كفيلا إن الله يعلم ما تفعلون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and fulfill your covenant with Allah. Whatever you pledge, you should fulfill it, and do not break it or break your oath after you have confirmed them. That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you do. So let's take that and apply it to actions. In our actions, we have a pledge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before whether you like it or not, whether you decide it or not. إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. You made a covenant with Allah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah is a covenant. Ahd. What does it mean? It means that you're following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You believe in Allah, you follow His rules, you follow what He advises, you stay away and restrain yourself from any action that He forbids upon you. Mash, tamam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ إِذَا عَهَدْتُمْ وَلَا تَنْقُضُوا الْأَيْمَانَ بَعْدَ تَوْكِيدِهَا. Do not ever break your covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by going against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Good? Yeah? 100%? I'm just checking if you're awake. You are, mashallah. Fully awake, always awake. قال الله عز وجل ولا تكونوا كالتي نقضت غزلها من بعد قوة أنكاثا. This is the ayah that we want. Verse number 92 in Surat An-Nahl. He said, do not be like her. Who's she? She undoes her thread, which she has spun after it became strong, by taking it back into pieces or parts. So what's the example here? There's an old woman in Makkah, as Ibn Kathir mentioned, or Qurtubi and others, many of them Mufassirin. And it doesn't matter if the story happened to this old woman as an example or overall, but the example is good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, forgive me, I'm very sick today. Give me some time to process that. He says, do not be like her. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّتِي نَقَضَتْ غَزْلَها. What did she do? يقول ابن كثير كانت امرأة حمقاء في مكة. She was known to be among those who they have stupidity into their actions. They're dumb. Why? She's well known. What does she do? She ties the threads together. She makes beautiful looking rugs all night long. In the morning, she undoes everything after it became strong. You get the picture now? No? Okay. You guys know what a rug is? We're going back to basics. Okay. This is sijjada right here. In the old days, now we have machines, we have fixed. In the old days, they'll do it under. There's still people who does that. I don't know what is that thing called? Huh? Loop. Loom. Loom. Okay. So what does she do? She works all night in the middle of nowhere in Mecca. There's no light. There's no electricity. So most likely she's working on what? The light of the moon, okay, or a little candle that she has or something. And it takes a lot of effort to sew it together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, min ba'di quwwatin. And then when she makes sure that all the threads are held together very strongly, as soon as she sees it nicely, she undoes everything. Allah said, don't be like her. Yani, what do you mean don't be? What is this example? What are we supposed? Some people say, we don't work, we don't do that. No, we do that with our actions. We work so hard in the month of Ramadan, as an example, and we do so good. So we build up this nice rug in Ramadan. First day of Eid, we undo everything that we did. وَلَا تَكُونوا كالتي نقضت غزلها من بعد قوة أنكاثا. He says, don't do like her. Don't become like this woman. Because everybody thought that she was stupid. That's what they called her, hamqa. When they were asked who's the most stupid among the people of Mecca, قُلْ هذه, this woman, hamqa. Why? Because when she does that, when she makes the rug, the least that she could do is what? La. That's the most. You're not into business. Keep it. The least is to keep it, to benefit from it. Another level, she sells it. She makes money off of it. Or she gives it to someone to benefit from it. And she already worked hard. She did the job. And as soon as she sees the job done, after it's done, she undoes everything and then she starts again. So what's the point? We're going to call, she wasted what? Her time. She wasted her energy. She wasted her money. She wasted her effort. She wasted her life. And she didn't benefit in any way from what she used to do. Allah says, don't be like her. Now everybody's clear on the example. Don't start off with salah. You're already doing 8 rak'ah every night in Taraweeh. Don't go to 0 after Ramadan. You're praying witr every night in Ramadan. Don't drop to 0 after Ramadan. Why? Because you're undoing your thing. You're undoing your thread. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في حديث سفيان بن عبد الله الثقفي رضي الله عنه وارضاه في حديث مسلم في صحيح مسلم يقول يا رسول الله أخبرني بعمل في الإسلام لا أسأل عنه أحدا غيرك. Look at the question. He said, I want you to tell me something that is brief to the point, that I don't have to ask anyone other than you. But Islam, يعني if I ask you right now, okay, this is not a test question, so don't feel. Explain Islam in few words. What would you say? Oh my God. Of course, it wasn't a question, but the response is very bad. Everybody's like, huh? Huh?
Submission to one God.
Submission to one God. I already submit to one God. MashaAllah, that's different from what he said. Submission to Allah. He's translating different wording. Submission to God, submission to Allah.
One guy didn't say which one.
Allahu Akbar. Didn't say which one. Ya Rasulullah, akhbirni fil Islami amal. He said, I want you to tell me in Islam something that I don't have asked anyone else after you. He said 2 things. Believe and do. Act and say. Say and do. What is it? قال قل آمنت بالله. You first have to say, I believe in Allah. What does that mean? That's a lot. Because believe in Allah doesn't just say, khalas, I believe in Allah, I'm good. Okay, you believe in Allah? Yes. Follow His command. Well, give me some time. There is no time. You believe in Allah? Yeah. Stop doing the haram. You believe in Allah? Then you respect His rules. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then His judgment becomes over your judgment and your desire. You believe in Allah? There's so many things. قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ. Say, I believe in Allah. ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. And then steadfast on the path. That's the meaning of this ayah right here. وَلَا تَكُونوا كَالتي نقضت غزلها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in our way to Allah, in our way to Jannah, we have a direction. And it doesn't mean that you're going to stay on this road till you get there. You're going to go off the road sometime. You're going to take some exits. But those exits are to rest, not to get lost. In our destination, if you're traveling from here to LA, خلاص? Not LA, Bay Area, because you guys are fans of Bay Area. Okay? You're driving, you have a 2 hour on the map, the navigation. Any exit that you take, you're taking it for a reason. You might get lost, you might get off, but then what do? If you get off an exit, what do? Huh? You get back? لا, most people, what do? They turn the car off and they sleep. ولا خلاص, what can I do? It's the qadar. Do we do that? We don't do that. Same thing when you're taking your direction to Jannah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The shaitan, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في حديث أحمد, قال هذا خط رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خط. قال هذا صراط الله المستقيم. وعلى جوانبه أبواب مفتحة. على رأس كل باب شيطان يدعو الناس إليها. فمن تبعهم فيها قذفوه إلى النار. He said, the Rasul, he made a line on the ground and he made lines on the side. He said, this is the path of Allah. So this is everyone's path to Allah. Off the roads, there are so many exits. Those exits have shaitan upon each one of them, taking people away. Whatever the way is, whatever desire that the shaitan feels, you could fall off. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you follow them, yani if you take this exit and continue on, you're going to get lost. And the lost here is what? Hellfire. So when you get off the road, you have to do what? Come back quick. So it doesn't matter if you're going fast or slow. What matters is that you stay on the straight path. وَلَا تَكونوا كالتي نقضت غزلها من بعد قوة أنكاثا. This is what we're learning today. We do not want to stay on this road and then fall off and then get lost and then it's hard to come back. And it doesn't matter whether you're fast or slow, as I said. It doesn't matter. Okay? Everyone has his own speed. Try to catch up to others, but the most important is to do what? To stay and die on it. Just make sure that you're on it. You're going to back off a little bit. So some people are going to speed up. Some people are going to get there faster. خلاص, Allah musta'an. What can we do? We're trying to compete. No problem. We understand the competition. But if I can't get to them, at least I am right after them. I follow them. Okay? So don't lose hope in that way. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّتِي نَقَضَتْ غَزْلَهَا. We do not want to do that. We do not want to start a good action. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, in the hadith narrated by Ibn Majah and other, he said, قال إن لكل عمل شرة وإن لكل شرة فترة فمن كانت فترته إلى سنة فقد هدي. He said every action has a peak. You know, in Ramadan, this is how we feel. This is a beautiful example for us to follow in Ramadan. In Ramadan, if the Imam, I'm just assuming, if the Imam prays 50 rak'ah, you're going to pray with him, but you're going to complain. But you're going to pray. The point is, you're going to do it. In Ramadan, you're going to fast every day, having no problem. Other than Ramadan, it's hard. In Ramadan, you're going to read more Quran than other than Ramadan. So Rasulullah said, there are times where the actions are at the peak. You feel like you want to pray 20 rak'ah tonight. You want to wake up all night in tahajjud. You want to read 5-10 ajza today. وَلِكُلِّ شِرَةٍ فَتْرَةٍ. He said, and then you come back to drop to a minimum. Lazy time. Time that you don't want to do anything. He said, فَمَنْ كَانَتْ فَتْرَتُهُ إِلَى سُنَّةٍ فَقَدْ هُدِي. What it means to drop down to a sunnah. I always tell the brothers and sisters, make the actions in your life into two categories. Minimum and no maximum. Minimum and no maximum. So your minimum action every night before you sleep, after Salatul Isha, the 2 rak'ah, I'm not talking about Sunnah of Isha, the 2 rak'ah and 3 witr. Minimum. Now, some nights you feel like, mashallah, Iman is boosting up so high. I'm going to do 20 rak'ah tonight. Go ahead. I'm going to do 40 rak'ah. Bismillah. 100 rak'ah. Tawakkal Allah. Then I'm going to do it for a week. But then after a week, you feel lazy and you drop. What should you drop to? 2 and 3. Not 0. Don't ever go back to 0. Don't leave everything. Now, Quran, I'm going to read 1 page every day. Not in Ramadan. In Ramadan, I'm able to read 10 pages. So after Ramadan, if I feel like I'm not really connected to the Quran, I'm still connected with what? 1 page. Regardless, no matter what in your life, you're not going to undo the thread. Now, the thread in Ramadan, you're making the thread become strong. Now, when you see your rug at the end of Ramadan, you want to benefit from it. You want to say, oh, I want to use it. I want to do something good with it. If you come back to the, and that's another issue. اسمه ايه صاحب لطائف ابن رجب عليه رحمة الله تعالى يقول واعلم أن من علامات القبول أن يوفقك الله عز وجل بعد الطاعة إلى طاعة مثلها. He said one of the signs of acceptance of actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you to do more actions after you're done of the same category. So if you feel after Ramadan that you're still able to pray 2 rak'at night, you're still able to read Quran, this is inshallah a sign that Ramadan was accepted from you. If you ever go back after you do great, mashallah, you do so much in Ramadan, and then after Ramadan you feel like, boom, you're dead. Nothing, then you have to be worried. There might be a problem. Okay, mashallah, we have this gathering every night. We have a gathering like this every Tuesday and Thursday in this masjid. This is our what? Minimum. Okay, but if we want to seek more knowledge and add more to it, we're going to add onto it. But if we drop down, we're dropping back to Tuesday and Thursday and so on and so forth. Every action like that. We're not talking about the obligation because there is no option. Yani we cannot say, brother, jazakallah khair, after Ramadan, I'm going to hold on to my 5 prayers. hold on to you didn't do anything. Hold on to what? Aslan, we're not going to discuss the 5 prayers. If we're discussing 5 prayers, that's a problem. Wallahi, that's a problem. How about 3? How about 4? What do you mean? How about 3, 4? Allah, a sister came and she said, Shaykh, I want to marry a brother, religious brother. Okay. And how? Not too religious. 3, 4 times a day, salah. Okay. What do you mean, okay? Aslan, if he's not doing his salah, how is he religious? How are you marrying him? This is an issue. We're discussing the basics right now of Islam. And the basics of Islam are given. Like, there is no option and there is no favor. We're not, يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا. We're giving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a favor. We're saying, alhamdulillah, we're doing what others don't do. What do? I pray 5 times a day. So you're comparing yourself to someone who doesn't pray? Let me tell you something. There are people who pray 100 rak'ah a night. How about that? You're like, no, leave them alone. I'm talking about my friends. They don't even pray. You cannot compare. يقول حسن البصري عليه رحمة الله من نافسك في دينك فنافسه ومن نافسك في دنياك فألقها في وجهه. Our competition should be that if someone competes with you in the that's why I like brothers when they are memorizing Quran, they're competing with each other. Like they're 2 friends and I memorized a page today, he says 2 and 3 and mashallah. You cannot say, alhamdulillah, I memorize every day 1 page. There are other people who don't even read Quran. We don't care about them. We do care, we want them to read Quran. But we can't compare ourselves. We can't keep comparing ourselves to the least actions of Islam. Like, alhamdulillah, I come to pray in the masjid. My friends are at the hookah shop. Why are you comparing yourself to them? Compare yourself to somebody else who does more of the ibadat. Sahaba, that's how they looked at each other. لما جاء رجل للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في الحديث الذي رواه أحمد وغيره قال يا رسول الله اسأل فلانا لما يبغضني في الله. He said, ask him why he hates me for the sake of Allah. The story behind that is this man is crossing by, walking. A guy sitting down with a group. This person said, Wallahi inni la ubghiduhu fillah. He said, I hate him for the sake of Allah. There is hate for the sake of Allah, like there's love for the sake of Allah. So they heard that from him. They said, Taqillah, man, how could you say that? Why? He said, he's my neighbor and I know him better. So someone who's sitting down, he went to the guy, he said, this guy hates you for the sake of Allah, just to let you know. فقال, Subhanallah, I'm going to go and complain to Rasulullah. He went to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Rasulullah brought both men. The one who spoke, who said, I hate him for the sake of Allah, and his neighbor. Look at طبعا, I'm going to explain the hadith because the hadith has a greater benefit after that. But he said to him, why do you hate him for the sake of Allah? قال يا رسول الله والله ما أراه إلا أنه يصلي الصلوات المكتوبة في جماعة ولا يصلي غيرها. To them, this was hypocrisy. To them, that he prays the 5 prayers with us in Jama'ah, but I don't see him praying any other prayers. To them, this was what? Hypocrisy. He sees the problem. So Rasulullah asked the man, he said, is it true? قال يا رسول الله سله أأحسن قيامها أأحسن طهارتها أأحسن قيامها أأحسن سجودها وركوعها قال نعم. قال يا رسول الله سله أؤديها في وقتها في جماعة قال نعم. قال فعلى ما يكرهني. The man said, ask him. Now they're having a little back and forth debate. So the guy said, you hate me because of that? Listen to me. Answer my question now. Do I pray it on time? So his neighbor said yes. He said, do I pray it in Jama'ah? His neighbor said yes. He said, do I perform accurate wudu and accurate salah? His neighbor said yes. Then he said, then what? He said, oh, hold on, I have more. يا رسول الله والله ما أراه إلا أنه يصوم هذا الشهر الذي يصومه البار والفاجر. He only fasts Ramadan. We don't see him fast every Monday and Thursday, 3 days of every month. Only Ramadan, and everybody fasts Ramadan. The obedient and the disobedient. So the man said, okay, do I fast Ramadan on time? Like in Ramadan, he said, yeah. He said, do I fast from morning to night? He said, yeah. He said, do I nullify my fast by doing any action? He said, no. He said, do I do it accurate based upon the Quran and the Sunnah? He said, yeah. He said, then why do you hate me? He said, Ya Rasulullah, he only gives the zakah that the believer and the obedient and disobedient gives. Yani 2.5 of his money. But we don't see him in a fundraising. Yani in a sense. He never raises that. He doesn't give sadaqat. I don't see him taking money and giving it to... He said, listen, do I give my zakah on time? The man said, yeah. He said, do I give an accurate amount? 2.5 that is asked for? The man said, yeah. He said, do I delay my zakah? The man said, no. He said, do I give it to the right people that deserve zakah? His friend said, yeah. He said, then what? Why do you hate me? Khalas, he had nothing else to do. You get the point of that story now? But there's more important. Rasulullah's response to this was amazing. Do you know what he told him? And this is another lesson, we could even do a lecture on it. You know what he told him? He said to the man who said, I hate you for the sake of Allah, قال يا هذا قم فوالله لعله خير منك. He said, get up and leave. Wallahi, this person might be better than you. Why? Because this person does everything that Allah commands to a level that Allah wants, fully accurate and right. The other person might be seeing himself better, and this is a defect. Because he thinks he's better. Rasulullah said, he is better than you. He's better than me and he's doing the minimum. Yeah, but at least he's doing the minimum without talking about it. You're thinking okay, وَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't praise yourself. Don't say, I am better than so-and-so. Wallahi, he doesn't come to the masjid. Allah, you don't know. Maybe there's something between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already forgiven his sins 100 years before you. He could be in Jannah in a higher level. We're not saying that people who don't pray are better than the people who pray. We're not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying no one has the right to judge other people based on their actions. Why? And even based upon acceptance. This is even worse. You don't have the right to say this person's salah is accepted or not accepted. This person's ibadah is accepted or not accepted. None of the fuqaha speaks about the acceptance of salah. They speak about validity of salah. Is it valid or invalid? Did he do it right or he didn't do it right? But acceptance is from who? Allah. So this hadith, subhanAllah, this hadith came to my mind. فنسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يعلمنا وإياكم ما ينفعنا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَكونوا كالتي نقضت غزلها من بعد قوة أنكاثا. So do not be like this woman who undoes her thread. In Ramadan, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up your heart to come to the masjid, then keep it after Ramadan. If Allah opens up, if you're able to come to the masjid every night to pray Isha and Taraweeh, then for sure you're able to come to the masjid after Ramadan to pray the same Salat, Isha, no Taraweeh. Why not? What is keeping you away? Of course, the shayateen are logged now. And wallahi, and I say it from my heart, this is a good sign when we see the masajid filled. Why? Because we say when the shayateen are locked, people are back to Allah. So when the shayateen are back, people are away from Allah. So we're blaming on the shayateen. But we cannot keep blaming the shaitan. We have to take actions. Yani, we cannot just say, Wallah, brother, it's not me, it's the shaitan. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, Inna shaitana lakum adu, fattakhidhu adu. Very simple. Shaitan is your enemy, take him as your enemy. You know your enemy and you're like, he is my enemy. Then why you follow him? I don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know? If you feel that the shaitan, and the shaitan is not going to let go. If he sees you coming back closer to Allah, he's going to be more tough on you than a person who's already in a hookah shop. The hookah shop, shaitan don't go there. Let me tell you right now. They don't. The shaitan are like, I'm not going to waste my time to go there. They're already wasting their time. Let them. I'm going to go to a masjid to the people who pray and stop them from salah, because these people are more dangerous on me than a person who's already doing the haram. So be careful. And wallahi, keep your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stronger after Ramadan, so you could feel the taste and the sweetness of the ibadah of Ramadan. We complain that we miss Ramadan, we miss Ramadan, we miss. Okay, you miss Ramadan. What are you waiting for? Another year till Ramadan comes? And then when another year comes and the other Ramadan comes, what happens? We're not ready. So we don't even feel the sweetness of Ramadan no more. We're in between this shaking level in our life. So we don't want to be undoing what? Undoing our threads after we have made it strong in Ramadan and connection with Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the benefit of what we have said and spoke of. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who are in connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all time. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who benefit in this dunya and akhirah. Jazakumullah khairan. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa